main reason is we want to express our full support for this campaign. It is an issue that doesn't limit to Kuantan people. It's an issue not even limiting to just Pahang. I think it's a national issue. It's a national issue just like 20 odd years ago when we say Bukit Merah is a national issue. Because this, if we do not set up a good precedent, then this becomes a very bad example of whatever future decision making involving the livelihood of people. So KL Selangor Chinese Assembly Hall is looking at this. In a micro view, it is an issue about rare earth, but a bigger one is overall about what is the public accountability of authority making decision. What sort of process, transparency that the authority should observe. Now, the West gone through the development. They have paid a lot of price for development, and they are still paying now. They have adopted normally, maybe last time it's not so well researched. They would have done a lot of projects and then get pollution, and later only we think about how to solve it. And I think that strategy is leaving behind many problems for the next generation. We always have the very traditional saying that prevention is better than cure. This is a very layman term. We do not believe that let's start development, if it's pollution, it's a price of development, then we look into cleaning up the environment later. That is not cost effective as well. Now, this case, I think the detail, the technical part of it, our friend from Himpunan Hijau has well researched a lot of paper. I would not go down in detail. I just want to speak as a layman, as a concerned citizen, that now is coming to the time of very critical moment because the temporary permit has been given. There are also quarters start talking about it is already decided. Let's talk about only how to solve the waste, waste treatment. But here the position is still very clear that the position is stop the whole project. Stop the whole project. We are not talking about the treatment process procedure because such, whether it's thorium or uranium, the life cycle is so long that even if you were to actually do whatever, bury it underground, how many feet underground, or whatever, whatever concrete, whatever container, the example in Japan was shown that when the uncertainty is still there, the few factors happen together, there will still be a leak. We are not talking about 100 years, we are not talking about 30 years. We are talking about thousands and tens of thousands of years. Do we, this generation, want to leave behind something for our next generation? And they are always living in fear, knowing that under their feet there's a big container containing tens of thousands or even more tons of waste. Do you want to leave behind the land there, that the wastewater seep through everywhere, and with the plants, with the crops, we don't even know what is inside, and later, then we found something wrong. Bukit Merah is a bitter experience for the people, especially those who live around there. It was over and over assured that there's no problem. But the people of Bukit Merah have stand firm, have voiced, and some of them pay price in that movement, in that struggle. But now, if you look back, the factual will tell you that it was a terrible project. And you go through so long, court fighting, everything, until they have to then stop. And then they withdraw, they close down. But then, damage is already done. I think those who know about, in China, Baotou as well, there are also a lot of factual things that you can find that it is actually the after effect. It is really terrible. I just want to very simply summarize. For KL Selangor Chinese Assembly Hall, we are dead against such a project. It is in near Kuantan area, far, but to us, it is within Malaysia. To us, it is something that we cannot be just bystanding. So I actually call upon all our members, I call upon all association, NGO, to attend this gathering. This is supposed to be a biggest green gathering. It will be a gathering that the voice of people need to be heard. It's a gathering to tell whoever want to make decision that the people's voice need to be taken care. And I think this is a very urgent moment because of the temporary this license being given. You look at how lucrative it is, and the paper will return that the announcement of the temporary license, their share increased 20%. Temporary license will increase 20%, you know. So you can see how lucrative it is. But we know that although this is a temporary license, the battle is not over, and we would definitely support the whole movement.
We are so grateful the Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Chinese Assembly Hall have organized such a press conference in support of the people, not just the committee of Himpunan Hijau, but this is an act to support the people of Malaysia. This is a people's movement. As we always said, Himpunan Hijau 2.0 is a people's movement. And today, Mr. Tan has displayed great leadership. As a leader, as an individual, come forward, make a very clear stand, to stand on the people's side. And it's obvious with a great leader like Mr. Tan, his stand today are so clear, and he called for his community to come forward to support an issue that can affect not just the community of Kuantan, but in Malaysia, our nation as a whole. At the moment, there are many community leaders, politicians, have come forward to support the people's movement. I want to make it clear, coming forward to join this Himpunan Hijau is not support the committee, but is to support the people. As I always said, this is a people's movement. And there are more than 80 organizations across the nation already come forward. And today, at this moment, Mr. Tan, as the chairman of Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Chinese Assembly Hall, joining this people's movement in a great way. So we greatly appreciate that. I'm sure will propel the movement to a different level. And we can see in a very short period, more and more great leaders of this nation will come forward, and more responsible Malaysians will be a part of this people's movement. And we like to advise those community leader or politician who hasn't come forward and make their stand clear to join us, to join the people, to join the people's movement. And because we believe that if you know as a leader, I'm sure they know something has gone wrong. I'm sure they know this is not the right development in our country. And by not standing out and keeping silent, chose to be silent, is not acceptable and not responsible and should be condemned. So we urge as a leader, they should exercise their moral responsibility. And as Malaysian, we also greatly disappointed with the Australian government, who could so-called a civilized country can allow such uncivilized act happen in our country. So we call for the government to take immediate action to stop exporting damaging and polluting industry into a third world country. We also call upon the citizen, the responsible citizen of Australia to come forward, exercise their moral responsibility, stopping the suffering, to avoid the suffering in our community by stopping exporting of the toxic material to Malaysia. So for a government, we feel that I think the basic responsibility of a government is to provide to protect the people, the well-being of the people. If you fail to do so as a government, I think there should not be state power. I think there's a basic requirement, a duty of a government is to protect the well-being of their people. And in this case, in Kuantan, the community is facing such a unnecessary suffering, and I think the government should make a great mistake by issuing the temporary license, which is totally unacceptable. Using the term as temporary license to disguise their evil act. I think in the past we might have seen it, temporary OC issued to the developer. Most of the time is when they cannot comply with requirement, and by doubting the authority, and they receive a temporary OC. In this case, it's obvious somebody up there being doubting, so this temporary license is being issued. I think it's totally not acceptable. This is not just a development, housing development or commercial development. This is a development that has so much implication when it comes to the well-being of our future children, health of our children. So it's totally unacceptable by issuing a temporary license. So we want to make it very clear. And again, this is a community where our Prime Minister comes from, and I hope he should exercise his moral responsibility to take care of his community. If he, as a leader, if he can't even take care of his own community, how can we expect him to take care of the nation? We like to call upon the Prime Minister to not be a bystander, and come forward and stand on the side of the people and listen to the voices of the people.
Before I'm going to read out our resolution that is actually just launched today at a national level, I'm going to just give a few highlights on this program. First is this Himpunan Hijau 2 will be held on the 26th February, 9:30 in Kuantan, believed to be the biggest assembly in town. And to practice green, I mean, we are not selling, I mean, any green T-shirts or anything in big masses, but we encourage people to wear green or just to decorate yourself with anything green to attend this function. And we will identify each other, whether you are members or participants of Himpunan Hijau too or not, by, I mean, wearing greens, anything green. And here, I would like to just quickly read out the resolutions. The translated versions have been distributed to the press, so siapa yang tak dapat, you can get it from me later. Basically, we have 3 resolutions here. First would be demand for the immediate termination of the liners at Once Materials plant. Second, reject or call for evaluation of all existing hazardous projects in Malaysia. Termination or full review of all existing hazardous high-polluting projects in Malaysia that have not gone through rigorous evaluation, transparent information disclosure, open public consultation and endorsement, including but not limited to Bukit Koman Gold Mine, Gawang High Tension Cables, Cameron Highland Incinerator, Lumut Iron Ore Plant, and Orang Asar land grabs issues. Mandatory and prior consultations with civil society and stakeholders on environmental matters and all developmental plans which are likely to affect them or in which they have an interest, which are clearly lacking in many projects that we have mentioned above, are public consultation. I mean, full transparency and disclosure of information. Uphold the right of everyone to receive clear and timely information on environmental matters and all development plans and activities which are likely to affect them or in which they have an interest. Prevent pollution of any part of the environment and allow no build-up of radioactive, toxic or other hazardous substances. The third resolution that we have passed is require all development proposals to be sustainable and in stringent compliance with the principles of the Earth Charter. And for your information, we have launched the Earth Charter in our Himpunan Hijau 1 on the 9th of October 2011. Thank you very much.
Pihak Media Pas melancarkan e-paper merupakan satu program baru dalam media pas asaskan kepada teknologi maklumat yang terkini yang wajib kita manfaatkan.